Hello, everyone. Oh, man, I've got pop ups and all kinds of things on here. Hello, everyone. Sorry, a little odd start. I'm alive. I am alive. I made it through the COVID vaccine. Made it through, I was in the unlucky 10 to 15%. Of course, my sister, who was a little younger than me, went through it even worse. So I guess all's good there, but I'll do it again. I'll do it again to be vaccinated. But hello to everyone. Let me give a quick look here. See who all is with us. Looks like we have some of the usual crew. Hey, Dennis Wynn, you were first. Absolutely first. I see that. Mr. Pines, Fishopedia. Is that Fishopedia? Okay. See the way my text looks like it's Fishopedia. What's up? But I see Fishopedia, MP, Dennis Wynn, Mr. Pines. Oh, you guys are going back and forth about this thing here. Hey, Robin Jayville, live stream hype. So here we are with another live stream. Really weird timing this week. And I wanted to do a lot of stuff last week that I didn't get to do because I got the vaccine on Wednesday. Thursday, it was so ironic. I have a cousin that got the vaccine, or coincidental, got the vaccine about an hour after me. And he called me the next day, said, "Hey, how you feeling?" I was like, I'm a little tired. My arm's a little sore. But other than that, I think it's less than the first vaccine dose. I hung up the phone, and about 10 minutes later, oh, man, I'm really tired. And I literally felt like, well, as my cousin put it, he called the next day. He said, "So, how's the vaccine thing?" I said, "Man, after I hung up with you, it was downhill from there." He said, he took off work early, never leaves work early. Said, "I went home, I laid down, and about 8 o'clock that night, he said, you remember when I got hit and his car or truck got crushed? I mean, crushed." Said, "I felt better then than I did after the vaccine, just the pain. It's like I was achy all over." So, yeah, but I lived. Again, still, it's worth it. And of all the people that I know, including our moderator, Mr. DIY Solar Energy, including him, they went through it fine. It was me and my sister. We were the two unlucky, and my cousin. The three unlucky draws out of the dozens of people that I know. But anyway, welcome to everyone. Another quick look here. Mr. Faulkner, Mr. Clayton, bruh boy, hello to you. It's like a lot of conversing there in the chat. So we'll let you keep that going. But I have a few topics I want to cover tonight. And as you can see, I've decorated because it's going to be forever before I get these walls done. But as you can probably tell by the title of this, I want to talk about that bike bubble. That bike bubble. And as a matter of fact, I was going to be wearing, well, the lime green shirt. My Kev review shirt. I was going to be wearing that tonight. But it's like a freak cool spell. It was 80 something degrees a couple days ago. Like right now, I need long sleeves. I have on short stuff. So kind of weird. But I want to start off, I have my 5 topics like I usually do. I want to start off with the thing I call State of the Channel. Maybe I'll buy one of those podiums, presidential podium at some point. Make sure my mic's on. And, oh, I saw Patron on there. It's DIY Solar reminding everyone, hey, Flash 5, hello to you. Is it safe to upgrade my scooter to lithium ion? That's the DIY Solar Energy question. He's the battery guy. But I want to do the State of the Channel thing. Just kind of recap that this is our 10th live stream. Can't believe already the 10th live stream since I got stuck in here in an ice storm and decided I'm going to go live. I'm going to try this live thing out. And that was my first one, and now already 10 under the belt. Probably should have been 10 or 11 or 12, but COVID vaccine. E-bikes and more e-bikes. You can only see one. You can see the Hemiway, but right there is that, hidden behind, I've got stuff in front of it. But right there is that E-Ride Mountain that I just reviewed. Kind of impressed me what that is for how little money. I mean, even we've seen our big box bikes evolve. Now the big box e-bikes are evolving. It's amazing how much is happening. But also, I want to talk about, now I can use one of these overlays that I had at the beginning. This thing, remind everyone that I now have an Instagram. It's at Kev Central Official is the Instagram. I probably should have put that on the screen. Maybe DIY can link to it or something. But I'm doing a giveaway, 3 bikes in 3 months. The first bike is the Aluminum Comp Micro Shift Edition that I rode at one time that I remember. It's practically new condition. There are a couple of caveats. You have to come pick the bike up or arrange shipping. I'll drop it off at a UPS store if you want to do that. But you can go there and register for that. So far, there's, I think, 800 and something people that have entered, which giveaways are never been really a huge draw for this channel. It's just something I used to do, but then YouTube started clamping down on all the giveaway stuff. But now, got it on Instagram. So there you go. 3 bikes in 3 months. I reserve the option to change that, make it more stuff or something. Maybe add in other stuff. I'm going to be doing a lot. Also comment, because I read every comment. I go through after live streams and I read every comment. So if I skip you over, don't worry. You get seen. You get seen here at Kev Central. But if you want me to maybe post random stuff to Instagram, compared to YouTube, not a huge fan of how Instagram does things. But if you maybe want to see behind the scenes pictures or some little shots, some scenic shots with bikes or something, comment. Maybe I'll consider doing that, even though Kev Central will always be focused mainly here at YouTube. It's what I do. I love the YouTube. So got that, got the bike giveaway. I want to start off my first topic with corrections. Some corrections that I need to make. I make errors. Make them all the time. I'm human. I'm good at covering them. No, just kidding. I don't cover them up. I like to be upfront about everything. But before I get to those, let me give a couple of shout outs here. Go back to this. Hey, wait a minute. I see somebody from Birmingham tuning in. Josh Pope tuning in from just northeast of Beeham. Well, I'm hoping that that's Alabama and not Birmingham, England, but I'm assuming northeast. So, hey, welcome. I appreciate you being here, especially a fellow Bama brethren. And there's our buddy, Harry Grimley. Hello, Harry Grimley. Fly Fishing 2004. Kim Jong-un. Well, hello to you, dear leader. Oh, wait, don't, Kim Jong-un, they call him the Marshal, something like that. The Marshal, Kim Jong-un, I think is how they say that. But Nonorico Bike, work in the bike industry and can back the part shortage won't be solved until Shimano opens up the dams on their new products. They release a new group set. Well, thank you for commenting that. We're actually going to talk. Shimano's part of the things that I'm going to talk about. Tim James, hello to you. Been trying to reach me about that is great. Okay, props to you, Tim James. That's gold. That is comedy gold. I love it. I love it. Such a good audience here at Kev Central. You know, gotta be among the most engaged channels on YouTube. That's one of the things with this channel that's kind of propelled it, is the audience engagement. You guys have been amazing, and I appreciate it. And even the humor. I love the humor. Mark Compson, need to start making all our stuff again. I'm assuming you mean in the U.S. I'd like to see a lot more stuff made in the U.S., but I don't think it's going to happen. You're going to review the new Polygon full suspension? They just asked me. Oh, wait. I got something there. Some noise. Let's see what that is. I have no idea what that noise was. Anonymous bought a t-shirt. Someone anonymous bought a t-shirt. By the way, it's a new graphic that I have. I can barely even see it there. But I have t-shirts now that I am selling. As you can see, oh, why do I still have that up there? Like you can see all the t-shirts. I have a new design too. There's the new design. New rotor with Kev Central logo right in the middle. And on the back of that is the circle logo, which is that thing. And a super chat already. Wow. Scott Miller. And then a super chat. Let's see what Mr. Miller has to say. Built the Carbon X 29er. Nice. Very nice. Thanks. When will the women's Schwinn aluminum comp 27.5 be available again at Walmart? I don't know. Get this off the screen. I won't leave that up. I don't know when that's coming back. I assume soon. Because I haven't heard any word that it was a one-time little quick deal. And that's that new design frame. So I assume just keep your eye out. Every single time I have ever done that, notify me when the bike is back in stock, within a few days, I have received a notification from Walmart, most of the time, not always, but most of the time, within a few days or a short time after that, just long enough where I'll have forgotten that I did it. And I'll check my email and I'll see it in there. But I'm really fervent about checking my email. I do it all the time. So I see pretty quick. So I've been able to get stuff. But thank you for the super chat. I didn't map my sound. Hold on. I'm doing something unprofessional here in the sources. Let me add a new media source. Let's do this here. We can do this. We go. I want to add a new source instead. I see someone else. What have I got here that I'm missing? Somebody else bought a shirt? Wow, thank you. And it even shows the shirt. I was curious if that was going to happen. I think I need to move this up a little bit. I'll take care of that, but thank you, whoever that was. I guess I don't have something. Oh, you can see me. I can't see you. I'm looking over. I'm literally looking over the window that I have here. Let me do this, folks. I have the bike belt for our super chatters and our. I assume I have the bike belt. Ah, whatever. Okay. I'll figure this out. I'll do a break here in a minute. And I'll do the bike belt. I have like so I can ring it. But in the meantime, I'll ring one of these in a minute. But thank you. So just envision a bike belt. Scott Miller and Anonymous that bought a shirt. I appreciate that. I'm wondering, there's something going on. Let me move this up just a little bit here. If there's something going on, because I thought it was supposed to say the name of the person rather than anonymous. So I don't know why it's saying anonymous, but if you're the one that bought the shirt, comment in the chat and we'll be sure to give you a shout out. So thank you so much. Also, back to this really quick. See what we're dealing with here. Johnny Merritt, Johnny CC Kit. Man, there was something. I already forgot what I was talking about. Already sidetracked. Already sidetracked. But anyway, I'll just get back to my list here and it'll come to me. It will eventually come to me, the revelations. But I want to make a couple of corrections. And one of them has to do with, there we go, I had an overlay on my screen. One of them has to do with these Hyper e-bikes. Actually, all the corrections have to do with the Hyper e-bikes. So let me hop over. Okay, you know, this was the E-Ride Mountain. I just reviewed it. I really liked it. I mean, amazing what's happening here with the bikes. It was a part shortage to get sidetracked on, but on these bikes, I incorrectly said that the cranks were aluminum or alloy. I said that on the first video. I corrected it on the second video. They are, in fact, steel. Doesn't really matter because it's an e-bike, so you got help. So saving weight's not so important on an e-bike. But also, on the first video, I incorrectly stated that they were going to be assembled on the rack in Walmart stores because there's this thing called a feature, and they're part of this feature. Hyper told me that that is not accurate. They are retail boxed in full color boxes. I showed those boxes in this little E-Ride Mountains video. So if you walk into one of the Walmarts that has these, they'll be in boxes and you have to assemble them yourself. Had I have known that, I would have videoed assembling the bike because I took pictures and kind of the steps through it, but I didn't put it in the video because, well, you know, if they're going to be on the rack, but then I found out. So I don't know, maybe I should take them apart and do an assembly video or something. I don't know. It'd be nice to have been able to do that, but it's nice looking retail box. You can see it in the E-Ride Mountain video. You'll be able to see those boxes. So you walk into one of the mini Walmarts. I was going to do a list, but then I found out how long the list is. I forgot how many Walmarts there were. A lot. And it's select ones, but it's pretty much, if you're in the United States, there's going to be one that seems like pretty close to you that has these bikes. And it was, I can't remember the dates, 426 to 726, that's the dates that they're going to be in store. So correct that, they're on the box. And also I got Shimano on mine, but they may have Falcon. And at first I was like, ooh, Falcon Saker, because that's on that Hyper Explorer stuff. But then it's like, well, it's Falcon Fire or something. I didn't look it up because I'm kind of lazy. But I guess it's something along the lines of the Shimano that's on there. So lower end derailleur. And they mentioned twist shifter, but I don't know if it's the same twist shifter, but because there's a Shimano part shortage, I would assume that it is a Falcon shifter as well. But you're not going to know until you open the box. But they told me that they are of equal caliber. So there we go. Couple of corrections. Just want to get that out of the way before I get into some of the nitty gritty about the part shortage. So, go quickly to chat here because it seems that everyone is saying a lot because I see just this constant stream here. And again, if I skipped over you or I missed you, I go back and I'll look at this. Eddie Rickenbacker, bike inflation. Hey, greetings, Papa, from California. And bike inflation is real. Yeah, it is. There is shipping has gone up, of course, parts, and we'll talk about some of the reasons that some of this is happening. And let's see what we've got here. Somebody, Colorado Gravity is Colorado made. Huh. Interesting. I'll have to look those up, see what those are. Type of bike is that behind you? The black one. You are talking about this. Nope, wrong. This reversed on my camera and I always mess this up. That is a Hemiway Escape. I have a video on it, and I'm about to have another video on it. We're about to talk about why I haven't already done a video on the follow-up on this, because I just did the first ride video, but I have something we'll be talking about. Where is that? It's getting on down towards the end here, so stick with us tonight, Mr. Kellums, because I'm going to be talking about that bike. Something specific about that bike, but it's very nice. I really, really like it. And yes, this one, that is an e-bike. That's electric, not wrong. Drago, nope, you're wrong. It's a Hemiway. But I do have 3 electrics in? No, but I have 2 electrics in here. Just probably about 10 feet from behind where you guys are situated. There are 2 electrics, a standard and a step through. One of them is that prototype. I'm surprised they haven't asked for that back to hang it on their wall. Yep, McKinney Bike Exploration got it right. I don't know what you were talking about, Gabriel Lawton, but I'll find out later. Future, your videos are great. Well, thank you, 545 Future. I appreciate that. I really do. And you guys will be happy to know that I almost uploaded a video today. I got out on the trail this morning. Let me tell you, after riding e-bikes, leading up to getting the COVID vaccine, and then being knocked down by that for a few days, and then sprinkling back in some e-bike rides as I was kind of getting back into the swing of things, I took the Aluminum Comp, Project Comp V2.2, out to the trail today. Did great. I didn't do so great. I rode 3 miles. I felt like I rode about 50. I was huffing it. Man, my Fitbit was buzzing like crazy. It was on the verge of starting to randomly call numbers in my phone list just to ask for help. I'm sure, because my heart rate was pounding so much. But I was going to get out and I was going to film something today out on the trail. And I even was filming with the new setup, new camera. Of course, I had it all messed up. All my angles were wrong. I thought, well, I didn't get it out here because I was too tired, but I'll do voiceover on some of this and cover what I wanted to cover. Couldn't even use that footage, so it was a bust, but at least I got a ride in. At least I got a ride in. Hey, you got the shirt, DIY Solar Energy. Well, thank you. But you only ordered one, so someone else ordered a shirt. And DIY Solar Energy, if you see who that is and I miss it, let me know. Because I want to definitely give them a shout out.
Yeah, commented right after me. So
right after
right
you.
Below you.
Right below you, but I only ordered one. Let's see, Drago, it's talking about a BCA 29er. Pretty cool. I toured that plant. I ordered one. Alex F. Well, thank you, Alex F. Thank you so much. So you were the second order, so you got that thing. You got the one with the mountain bike. My new mountain bike logo, full suspension. Which one did you order, DIY Solar Energy?
I did let me come back to it. It's the one that's got your, it's a classic tee,
Yeah.
With your logo with the bike on.
Oh, okay. So same one. Okay. 2 orders on the same one. Hey, there is Paradox, Mr. Boss. Saw the notification. I was already watching the video, but clicked it 5 times. Well, thank you. That is fervent support. I've talked about this before. And then we're over 100. Man, why do I keep forgetting that little 100? I worked so hard to get that 100,000 plaque. I don't even have it. I meant to lean it up somewhere in here again, but we're over 100,000 strong, so impressive. I think the largest budget bike community on YouTube, especially that modifies them and all that. But of that over 100,000, there are about 10,000 that are the loyal that watch every video. 8 to 10,000 that are absolutely for sure going to watch just about every video. And then it gets down to like this ultra loyal clique of, I can count on about 6,000 that are going to watch whatever and enjoy it and have some nice, good conversations about whatever it is. And then it gets to these live streams. And I consider you guys kind of the elite of the elite ish. And I say ish because not everyone can always make it to a live stream. So that 6,000 or so are the ones. Hey, and there's another anonymous someone. Hey, is that my new design? No, that is the gear design. That's the yellow shirt behind me here. That's that shirt, but they bought it in the blue. Thank you. Whoever that was, comment. And we'll give you a shout out for that. I really appreciate it. But so there's about 6,000 that are the ultra loyal. And then, of course, this little live chat stream, which we tentatively call the XR Pros. David Montreal, one of our regulars here. It's the one that coined that term, and I'm working on maybe getting something special for that. Trying to get permission to use that name. Let me run through here. Res CF e-bikes still produce emissions and toxic battery chemicals only if they are improperly cared for or disposed of. Because you know those cells can be recycled. Those cells can be recycled. And I guarantee you the emissions are not as much as a vehicle even during the manufacture. Well, I shouldn't guarantee because I'm not an engineer, but I suspect. Hey, Mountains and More. Hello from Northeast Alabama, our second, technically our fourth, because we have myself, DIY Solar Energy, whoever that other person was northeast of Birmingham, and now Mountains and More. Thank you very much. And Mountains and More, I'm going to send them some stickers. I got your message on my website. I'm going to send you some stickers so that when you go to this ride thing, which sounded like it was at some ultra fancy place, and I was envisioning somewhere up on the eastern seaboard, one of those wealthy luxury places like a vineyard, well, not vineyard on the upper northeast coast, but yeah. And I found out Alabama. So, but anyway, I'll send you some stickers. I appreciate that. Hey, Kev, I'm finally getting an Axum after 8 weeks. Gerald Rodriguez, well, congratulations to you. I'm glad that you are getting your Axum. Did you have an order canceled? I've seen quite a few comments today and over the past few weeks that people that placed their orders when I first did that video, that they were available, which again, they were available before they were supposed to be available, the dates that I was told. Someone pulled the trigger and put them up, but a few people have had their bikes canceled, said they were canceled that the reason that their pricing was wrong. Price too low or something inaccurate pricing, and then they reordered at the same price. So kind of weird. I don't know what's up for that. And yeah, there's DIY letting us know he's from Bama. Harry Grimley, Schmitty, 8225, Saddle Tramp 1200. You weigh 240 pounds, have a 250 watt, 26-inch bike that hauls the mail. Well, that is awesome. You know, this little mountain, E-Ride Mountain's up to 275 pounds. Kind of shocked me that it had that rating. Someone's texting here. Right behind on the comments. Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm trying to catch up. So, Diplomat Phantom Hupper, new around these parts. 14 miles on your trail, Harry Grimley, I see that. He's learned about bicycles before investing. Well, congratulations on being here, and hopefully you can learn a lot. Diplomat Phantom Hupper here at Kev Central. Sonia, hello to you. Just stopping by for a minute. Work's keeping me late. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Always like seeing you. One of my patrons. Also, Mr. Grimley that I believe I saw earlier. Okay, so I think I'm roughly caught up. Joel Gilbert, Grommet Dog 1, no new bikes. Are you talking about at Walmart? Was that a bike shop today? And I look like a used bike shop. Okay, now I see what you're talking about. I was at the local bike shop today and I tried to peek in the windows because I don't go inside because I'm still not at full strength with the COVID vaccine yet. But I saw a few bikes on the top, but it looked like they were spaced out. And out front, they had kids' bikes. It was like Walmart. I've heard the racks at Walmart's all kids' bikes. And every now and then a cruiser. And they had 3 cruiser bikes and a bunch of kids' bikes. So, and one of the guys that worked there, I gave an aluminum comp wheel to today. He had an aluminum comp that one of his friends was riding, that they had warped the axle, and you know, kind of thing with free will. Real easy to bend the axle. They talk designer t-shirt boutique central. Yeah, I got my shirts up here. You know, I started thinking, what can I do other than just these walls? might be a while before they get done. I'm collecting pallet wood for this wall, one of these walls, this wall. Collecting pallet wood for that, but I thought, that might look okay. It might serve dual purpose, and we sold 2, 3 shirts already. Of course, one of them was to one of my buddies here, but you're all my buddies. So there is that. Eric Van Duzer, hello to you. Just picked up a Polygon Cascade 4 reeling joint. Can't wait for Project Cascade. That is awesome. Right now, that Cascade's loaned out. I wrote it one time and it's loaned out. So maybe I'll see if I can get some footage, because it's loaned to Jose for one of his friends, and he has the original Cascade. So maybe I'll get video with both of those or something and show that. Okay. Dakota Kelly, full suspension, some towns left. Okay, talking about bike shop. Hey, Sandriel, hello to you. Another new patron. New patron there. Tried buying Trek Marlin 5 and was told to be until August or November. Well, they have moved it up if they're telling you August and November, because about 2 months ago, I was told that it would be into 2022 before new Treks would be available. That's what the local dealership was saying. So I skipped your question, New York Luis. What question did I skip? You know, I try not to, but there's so much that comes in here. I don't see it, so you might have to ask it again. But I always look back at the stuff again. Hey, TK.
Just do it up in the comments.
Huh?
I just do it up in the comments.
Okay. All right, well, it'll take it a minute again. Oh, there we go. You know, Walmart is replacing their assemblers. I heard that. Hey, now it shows a name. It's not anonymous. Scott Miller just bought a shirt. Thank you, Scott Miller. Another buyer of the yellow. That's that's one of my popular sticker designs. This Kev Central cassette logo, very popular on shirts too, apparently. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'll ring bike bell for all of you guys in a minute. But yes, I heard they were replacing their assemblers. You know, that's what Target's done for a long time. They have assemblers that come in once a week and do, and that may be a good thing, because in general, Target bikes were probably, in my opinion, maybe a little better assembled than some of the things I'd seen at Walmart. Of course, I say that, but I've also seen backwards forks on Target bikes, so who knows. But anyway, I wanted to say TKMX, you're good night. You're going, I guess. But thank you for dropping by. And Drew's enthused. There's even a wait on custom steel bikes. Look at July. Wow. Yeah, lots of delays. And we'll talk about some of this too here in just a second. Go to Kelly. You're awesome. You said my name. Well, I said it again. Go to Kelly. There we go. And Slimy Salinas. 2 thumbs ups. Thank you. And yet, thank you, Harry Grimley. Always so nice. Letting the thumbs up, that helps me in the YouTube algorithm. It really does. Really, on live streams, it helps a lot. Giving thumbs up. Schwinn for the win. Chris49, absolutely. But I want to talk about part of the reason that some of the things that are happening right now, and that's the part shortage. Because if you didn't know it, well, I'm telling you, there's a part shortage. There is a Shimano part shortage. And also some of the other stuff, not even Shimano is getting a little tight that I've noticed, but I've been told, I have semi-sources, I'm slowly getting more connected in the bike industry, but I've been told that it's not just individuals, it is bike shops, and bike shops and manufacturers and big manufacturers that order lots of stuff are having trouble getting Shimano. I've been told by more than one company that they're having to order so far in advance just to ensure that they get Shimano. Case in point, one company told me they were requested to put in their orders for 2023. 2023, that's 2 years from now. I went to UNA, so 2021, 22, 23, that's 2 years from now that 2023 is. So I mean, just think about that. If you are a bike manufacturer, or even not a manufacturer, some companies technically don't manufacture their own bikes, they just rebrand stuff, but whatever your case, if you're selling bikes and that's your business model, and you're told that you have to put in parts orders for 2023, do you realize what that could potentially do? Right now, bikes are super hot. They are the hot, cool thing again. Probably haven't been that way since I was a teenager, But they are the hot, cool thing again. Bikes are. Demand is by far outpacing production. And that's the reason that there is a shortage. I've been told. And it's also bikes, e-bike batteries, that's getting tighter. But you think about this, when the world shut down last March, China had been shut down for a good month or two. They were down for 3 months at least. Yeah, three. They were down for 3 months at least. I'm a languages guy, not math, so I double check myself. Down for at least 3 months. That's a lot of production. And if you consider that practically everything that us as bike riders use comes from China, whether you like that or not, that's the case. Most of those components come from China. So that's a lot of components not being made, a lot of bikes not being made at a time when demand went through the roof. Demand, surprising to me, has not slowed down. I figured as soon as production went back and things got anywhere close to normal, or the stay-at-home orders started going away, that things would quickly dive in the bike world. And I have a unique insight as Kev Central, because not only do I get to talk with bike companies, do I get to buy bikes and shop for bikes, so I cover all the gambits. I'm a consumer, number one. I'm always shopping, but I also talk with manufacturers, I talk with sellers, vendors, if you will. And so I kind of have a unique little look on things, but also I have analytics for my own channel. I can learn a lot from analytics, how things are being viewed, what people are watching, what people are looking at, what people are talking about, because you guys help inform all of us. So in taking all of this data that I have, kind of parsing it through in my head, because I don't scrounge or save data or save anyone's information or anything like that, but taking all the data that I see, I can start to build a picture. And we already know that there's a bike bubble. And I want to talk about how that relates to a part shortage. And I'll do that in just a second. But first, I made a list here. A couple of things I want to talk about, and I want you guys to comment on this. Who is going to benefit from a parts shortage? Who benefits from that? So take a wild guess. I want to see some comments here on what you think the beneficiaries are of a part shortage. Is it the manufacturer? Is it companies like Schwinn, like Trek? And notice I'm mixing local bike shop and big box. Is it Walmart, Target, places like that? Who is the beneficiary of a part shortage? Or is there no beneficiary? Is that bad news all the way around? Because scarcity usually equates to higher prices and more demand. That's Apple's entire sales channel dogma. They're really good about making sure that they create just enough scarcity to keep a product in demand, so it's not overflowing. And by the time they do overflow, they come out with a new item, and they've streamlined their channel so that it's pretty much what they have is what they know they can sell. I mean, they've got it down to an art form. Tim Cook, their current president, that was his thing before Steve Jobs passed away and he took over. Well, actually, he took over right before Steve Jobs passed away, and a couple of times and before that. But that was his thing, the supply chain management. So there can be benefit to scarcity and shortages, even if they're manufactured shortages. So I want to know, who do you think is going to benefit from this? Let me see if anybody, the high-end bike shops benefit the most. I see there. You're going to benefit when you sell your 17 bikes. Scalpers, I'm not going to say your name there, but Itchy. Yes, and eBay Scammers goes right along. Patty Hudson with that. Microshift, New York Luis. You are a person after my own thought process, because that's what I literally have Microshift written down here. Benefit Microshift with a question mark, because I started thinking about it and I thought, well, if you are the one fighting the big dog, you're fighting the big dog and you're trying to get your products out there, but they're the established name, what could be better for you than that established name not being able to meet capacity and people starting to use your products? Because as we pointed out in the aluminum comp Microshift edition video. That's supposed to be a temporary thing, but I'm still hearing that they're a mix out there of both. But I prefer the Microshift setup over the Tourney with the Easy Fire. Even though I like the Easy Fire shifters. Hey, new subscriber. Thank you, Evan Greenberg. I appreciate you being a subscriber here at Kev Central. Welcome. You might not even be in our, and there's another subscriber. You might not even be in our live chat, because I don't know if that pulls from our live stream or if that's the channel in general. There's a whole bunch of us. So thank you to everyone that's subscribing. I hope I don't have to mute that, because I'm getting a pretty good stream of subscribers on the channel. I think that Streamlabs is maybe catching up, but that could be a constant thing here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to lower the volume on that or something. Yeah, I'll mess with that in just, where's that alert box? Let me lower that volume just a little bit. Oh, well, probably not low for you, not high for you guys. I have it here, I forget. I've got sounds here. So, wow, lots of, hey, and I see a name that I know that I'm pretty sure was a subscriber, so don't unsubscribe and resubscribe, because if you're doing that just to get it to pop up, I'll have to undo that alert. But thank you, Mark Southern, for subscribing. So, yeah, let me undo this part, because I think that's going to be a, I get regular subscribers here on the channel, and I'm scared that that's going to be a constant interruption as we go. But thank you to everyone that subscribes. I really appreciate it. I love watching the channel grow, especially in real time, but I don't want it to mess up what anybody's seeing at home. I'll maybe reconsider that when I watch this live stream. It might not be as loud as what I'm hearing. So, or maybe I need to move it up into the top corner up here or something. But Microshift could benefit. That's the thing. But I also agree with the people that say that scalpers are benefiting. Definitely. The last 5 boundaries at my Walmart had Microshift on a boundary. Good information there, Mr. John Johnson. Thank you so much. See, the Foxus Box 2 is a viable option over some lower, possibly, but I haven't seen any budget bikes use that. Used market might be flooded next year. Yes, Mr. Drew's Enthused, we're about to talk about that. So, a lot of box stuff sold out. Yeah, a lot. Even Advent, all the stuff is hard to get right now. Matter of fact, that was another thing I had. So we talked about beneficiaries. And I want to mention just really quick what I personally have noticed and what I've heard, that there are shortages of derailleurs, a shortage of shifters, brakes are a shortage. Now we're talking about name brand stuff, but I've also seen that trickle into some of the some of the off brands that I use, or the generics, whatever you want to call them. The forks are a shortage right now. Trying to get a good fork, not as easy. And again, I know everybody's going to go, we can get Bucklos, you can get Ballini, you can get ZTZ, which are roughly all the same thing. Yeah, but those aren't on a Pixon. Those aren't one of the better Suntour. Well, the Pixon is a Suntour, but even that, what is it, the XCR Air? Is it XCR? I think it's XCR, XCM Air. Forks like that, hard to get right now. And buying just an XCE or an XCM is difficult. Difficult to find right now because manufacturers are gobbling them up. Tires and tubes. I've seen Trek bikes that don't even have Bontrager tires. So now I haven't seen that in probably 4 months, but I'm assuming that it's still happening because I've been told that it's hard to source tires and tubes and wheels. Now I haven't heard manufacturers talk about wheels, but me as a buyer, my trusty wheel sets, I have one way over there, but my trusty wheel sets that I've been buying forever and been using, the WTB with Continental tires, impossible to get. So there's shortages of a lot of stuff, but also let's start thinking. The factories were closed for 3 months. That's a lot of backup when you're dealing with manufacturing. I mean, to overcome that takes a lot. And remember, China, they're still closing down certain areas. They'll have a flare-up of COVID in a city. They'll shut that city down, knock it out. Well, if that happens to be near a manufacturing district, or they manufacture something in that area, then that's another time that something's not being made. But also, along with these factories being shut down, demand shot through the roof. And surprising to me is still at epic levels, our demand. So we'll see how long this plays out, and that's going to be the title of this stream: is the bubble is about to burst? Because I'm just amazed that that has played out as long as it has. But at what point, we live in a capitalist society, at least in the United States. But even non-capitalist countries are kind of following. They're sometimes better capitalists than we are here in the United States, as far as taking advantage of selling and buying and selling. So at what point, the one thing I learned a long time ago is when money's involved, you really can't trust anyone. So at what point is that shortage going to be actual shortage, or is it just going to be greed? Doing that Apple supply chain thing where you create a shortage just so you can drive prices up, drive demand up, and keep people ordering, as I mentioned earlier, parts 2 years in advance. So that's a lot of risk that's on those companies, not on the manufacturer, it's on those companies. So, yeah, tire shortage hurts. Yeah, Adrian King. I've done them before, but now the rotors I need prefer the way are out of reach. Yeah, rotors are hard to get. I tried to buy some Shimano rotors. Shimano shortage, it's like the main brand that's out there. Main kind of came out funny sounding there. By the way, I started again, totally off topic. I started languages, foreign language major, but I've been brushing up on my French. Started doing that again. A lot of it had fallen away, but I've been brushing back up on it. So maybe then a little weird accent came out there. India's shutting down with spiraling cases. Yes, e-bike Mike. And India, I don't know, not bike manufacturing, but unrelated to bikes, India is a lot of medicine manufacturing. So that's kind of scary if you think about that. And I don't know what Comcast and AT&T are going to do if they lose their Indian call centers, because everyone that I've ever called was from overseas. Because I always ask them, hey, where you at? I'm just curious. It doesn't bother me that someone is from where they are. They can't, nobody can. They're just trying to work like everyone else. Doesn't matter what company outsourced to them. Of course, separate from the argument of a company outsourced. I've been outsourced personally myself, so a little thing there. But people will swear at people that work at a call center overseas, and it's not their fault. They're doing their job. A lot of times they do a pretty good job. So thumbs up. Thieves benefit. That is true. Yeah, they can buy bikes, take the parts off. So I didn't even think about that, Sandriel. That's a good thing. The Fox, or not a good thing, but good information. Happy to capitalize on the box shortage. So, wow. $0 loss for a 4-year-old bike, the Foxes. Hey, Mr. Wasco. Don't forget, Kevin has a Patreon page. I do. I have a Patreon page. You get a free sticker being a patron. But thank you. Nice to see you here. I really appreciate it. What else we have? Just going through this before. Cure Cycling. Downtime Adventures. No time to watch a live feed, but thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Supporting the channel. Be sure to give it a thumbs up before you leave. Thank you. And Mr. Cure Cycling, I appreciate it. And fist bump to you. Thank you. Diego Stefalu. Bought a couple of 29-inch tires that almost doubled. Ooh, yeah, that hurts, doesn't it? Fortunately for me, I'm a parts squirreler. I'll see deals all the time. I've got stuff that, a lot of the stuff actually that you see that I do on bikes, I might have had those parts for 6 months sometimes. I buy stuff when I find it cheap. Of course, I'm cheap right now. Bonjour to Mr. DIY Solar Energy. But finding stuff cheap now is a good thing. I've squirreled back some parts, but I need brakes. I can't get cheap brakes. And that hurts. Might have to bite the bullet and spend. Yeah, a lot of us. So, Hyper E-Mountain Bike, worth upgrading. Jonathan Daughtry. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Some ideas that I have, and I'll roll this forward as I do. So, before I get to that, let me talk really quick, because I want to talk about the bubble bursting, which is the title of this stream. And I want to talk about the eventual deals that might be had and things like that. But before I do, I want to give a reminder that I have this giveaway. It is on my Instagram. which that's the only post right now on the Instagram. I'm doing 3 bikes in 3 months. First bike, aluminum comp. You do have to come pick it up or arrange shipping. And it's the one I used in the video, the last video, the micro-shipped video. But be sure you head over there, follow the rules, read the rules. You have to be subscribed to Kev Central and a follower on Instagram. But possibly a free bike to someone, or not possibly, a free bike to someone. You might be that person. And also, as you can tell behind me here, I have all these shirts, all this shirt stuff. Been working hard on designs. I'm trying to do designs and new designs regularly, and this is my most recent. I just uploaded this yesterday or day before yesterday. This is I call it the rotor disc design. Really inventive with the name, because it is a rotor disc with the Kev Central logo in the center. And on the back of that shirt is a small 2.5-inch, that logo, the circle logo, but it's in the upper back. And I would be wearing one of these shirts tonight, but it's getting cold outside. So it's a little perfect in here right now, actually. But I'm wearing long sleeves just to play it cool. So there's that. Now, let's talk about eventual deals. I hope someone is not spamming, but let's talk about eventual deals, because the bubble's got to burst at some point. And make no mistakes, we are in a bubble. We're in a bike bubble, the popularity of bikes. So at some point, all this demand, supply is going to catch up with demand at some point. And when that happens, because there's no longer scarcity, is that going to create a bubble pop effect? What's that going to do to companies? Because, right now we have a lot of e-bike companies that are new, that are coming out with some really nice bikes. I have I have 3 to review right now. One's from a very established company. I have another on the way. So, but there are a lot of nice e-bikes coming out from a lot of fairly new companies. But what happens if that bubble pops? Are they going to be hurt by that? Because usually it's a smaller company that'll hurt first and hurt worse. So I'm just curious. But also, when the bubble pops, is that going to be a good or a bad thing? Because the fact that there is a bubble, does that mean that there's so many more bikes out there right now and so many more people riding? And I can tell you from my local trails, there are more people riding right now. Riding mountain bikes and riding around town, I've seen more e-bikes and bikes in general than I've ever seen riding around town. Can't go downtown without seeing a bike. Even at my house, I see 2 or 3 people ride by every day on a bike. That's rare. That's rare. Well, I've had spurts where it happened, but it's common that if I'm out in my front yard for an hour or two doing something, I'll see somebody come by on a bike. And that frequency used to not happen. So has this bubble created a situation to where it might be a good thing even when it pops? Because we've got more bikes out there and more people exposed to riding. And the more people exposed to riding mean the more people that will be left riding after even a bubble would pop. And is that a good thing? More people in IMBA and stuff like that. And I encourage you to look up IMBA and what's that? International Mountain Bike Association. I forget what their complete acronym, but look them up. I'm technically a member through my local bike club thing. Never even got a membership card for that. Just paid for it. But anyway, they help support local riders and local trails because IMBA's been out at our trail. But more people riding, that's a better thing in the long run, I think. So I think there's the benefit there, but there's also the benefit, as someone pointed out, when this bubble burst, was it the Fox? Who was it? As someone pointed out, when this bubble bursts, there will be a lot of bikes out there. So that's a good thing for us. The people that are always going to be riding, as long as we're physically capable, that's a good thing for us. So I think maybe there's a little bit of win-win. More people are right now being exposed to cycling that wouldn't have normally thought about it. Case in point, I have a neighbor. My idiot neighbor, and I say that jokingly because that's what he knows that I do stuff online. He doesn't know exactly what I do, but he knows I film a lot and upload things. So he's constantly like, He said, if I find out that you have a vlog called My Idiot Neighbor and it's nothing but footage of me, he's like, I won't cut in on the profits. So that's kind of been a running joke. So now I'm just called My Idiot Neighbor. But he is not someone I would ever envision being a bike rider. Him and his fiance, they're getting themselves bikes. And they're going to start riding. He was asking me about bike racks for his car and a hitch mounted bike rack. So he was wanting to do it right. So that's people that are going to be riding in the future that normally wouldn't be riding. And I think it's because that bike popularity right now. So bubble effect. So we've got all that covered. And of course, I mentioned IMBA, but that's bike infrastructure. The more people that ride bikes, the more bike infrastructure there is. Bike lanes, specified bike trails, those rail trails, lots more of those popping up. That only gets helped if there are more people riding. So there is that. Comment amongst yourselves. I'm going to sneak a peek here at the comments and see what I have missed. I see Ringo Starr there. Many countries are moving their warehouses out of China. Yes, they are. They are. It's kind of like a workaround. Put them in different. I've seen Malaysia stickers. I've seen. Where all have I seen? I've seen all over stickers on bikes, and I've even heard of things being manufactured and then moved to be packaged and shipped. But I ordered your Suntour Pixon right before the shortage. Well, congratulations. There's a matter of fact, what you guys might even see here on Kev Central is bikes that lose parts so that I can complete projects on other bikes until I can get parts. So, because I'm about to loot a fork off something right now to use on something else, and I'll just pop them back and forth. But if you use the same headset, that's easy to do. So don't have to worry about changing Crown Race or anything like that. Stephen Smith, trails are way overcrowded, so someone must have talked about the trails. Well, I don't have an overcrowding problem here because there's demographically Northwest Alabama is not a super, even though there are more people riding bikes right now, it's not demographically a super bike place here. We have a bike lane now, but it's, I think, probably grand total maybe a mile, a mile and a half in the whole city. Just one little shot and then a second little shot. But let's see here. Andrew Singleton, hello to you. I appreciate you being here. See you regularly. Saddle Trump 1200 again. Hang in till your AZ homies. All right. Well, let's see. Hello to everyone in Arizona. Eugene Krabs. Once the bike boom is over, the big box scalpers will take the biggest hit because they bought many hyper shockers to resell for 300. That is so true. So true. But actually, not. I talked about my area not being demographically hugely bike centric. Even though there's more people riding right now, still a fraction. Still a fraction. Probably one of those 0 point something percent fractions. But people always talk about, why don't you shop the used market and buy bikes on the used market and rebuild those? Because that would be a better value because you could get some nice local bike shop thing. Well, in some areas, that's possibly the case. In my area, it is definitely not, because even before the bike boom, it was not, and it's still not, definitely not now, but it was not uncommon to get onto Facebook Marketplace or Letgo or something. A few times there was something on Letgo here, and see someone had bought, say, a Hyper Shocker for $129, set it under their deck or beside their house for 6 months, let it get nice and rusty, and then list it on Facebook for $250 and say that it's a top end mountain bike. And so apparently some people have been selling them. So yeah, that's the used market in my area. Every now and then something nice. The only thing nice I've ever bought used, I had to drive quite a ways to get. That was on Facebook Marketplace. Show us your banjo. Oh, come on now. We don't all play banjos, but I wish I did. I'd be having fun playing a banjo. But might call it a fiddle. Wait, no, a fiddle is the violin, isn't it? I don't know what, there's a slang term for banjo here. I don't know. You had a chance to look at New Grave Bike brand Vass. New Bike brand Vass. No, I don't know that brand. Kev Banjo. Sonia's still here. So that'll be another channel. I'll learn how to play a banjo on YouTube. I like Kev Banjo. Used market, all used bikes. It's looking at a hybrid electric bike for under 1500. What would you recommend? All e-bike lists are inaccurate or terrible. You know, that's tough, man. The hybrid, of course, hybrid can mean anything. Like the E-Ride City could technically be, well, not really. That's straight up city bike. There are, I don't know. You know, I have very limited exposure. I'm just now getting my toes wet in this e-bike thing. And by the way, that's coming. That's coming hard. Even the local bike shop, everyone that I talk to, industry, individuals, everything, everyone's starting to realize now e-bikes are where it's going. Matter of fact, Mountain Bike and More that commented earlier made a comment. They have something in his town called something. And it's a Wednesday, a specific Wednesday that everyone goes without a car and tries to ride bikes or something. That's what I took from it. Day when everyone tries to ride bikes. And he said that he could not believe the amount of e-bikes. Not only more people riding, but people riding that were on e-bikes. It was a vastly large number. And that he could tell it was people that wouldn't be riding that didn't have that e-bike. So that's a good thing. That's why I'm fully embracing e-bikes. But I'm trying not to be lazy because I have a bike that you'll be seeing coming up that's really hard to not ride over something else that I have to pedal on. Because I was out with this thing at that Joe Wheeler Trail, that Joe Wheeler State Park Trail. It's nice, smooth, flowy, except for those. What is it with these? They cut trails, brand new trails, and you got this nice, long, smooth, flowy section and a whole big hill that you could slowly taper up. But instead, you have to come to an almost crawl to make a 90-degree turn right at a hill. Lose all your momentum. I don't get the logic on some of the paths, but it's still an excellent place to ride, especially if you're on an e-bike. And it kind of spoiled me because I'm riding an e-bike and I realize, I get to the end, I'm like, wow, I could ride this 10 times over. But then I realized that if I were on a bike and I was having to pedal myself, when I've ever gotten to the end of that, I'm winded. So there's that. It's a slippery slope that I'm trying to be cautious with, but it's hard to not because e-bikes are so awesome. And the Fox's tier, e-bikes tempting, but I ride with my wife, which means I need to buy 2 e-bikes. Well, it's easy. Buy the Hyper e-rides because they're decent little bikes. I'll talk more in just a second about that. I don't even have that on my notes, but I want to talk about this. I have Michael Wall. Hello to you, Mr. Wall, a regular here at Kev Central and on these live streams. Both of my Axums are Kev Central official. Got my stickers. Well, that is awesome. Congratulations. Thank you for getting a sticker. I appreciate that. And I'll merch plug, I guess, since you mentioned stickers. I have these on, I have a little store on eBay that I sell these stickers. It helps support the channel. You know, I'm trying to get to an RV so I can travel around. Maybe go see and meet some of you guys. This is a magnet, actually. It's not even a sticker. That's a magnet. I have this design, pretty much every design that's behind me, except for this new shirt. I don't have that design on a sticker. But I have lots of stickers, these holographic-y ones. And then, of course, the all-time popular 2x2, 2-inch by 2-inch. This fits perfectly on the seat. Let me hop down here. This fits perfectly down on the seat tube of a bike, right down below, between the seat tube and the down tube, that perfect sticker location. It's where these little 2x2s fit perfectly. I shouldn't have put them there because they will fall. But I wanted to mention that since you mentioned your sticker, and awesome that you have 2 Axums. That is super awesome. And I need to ring the bike bell for you guys because I lost my audio file that I was going to do. Hey, wait. Got another. So I've got Michael Wall here, and I've got Mr. Wasco, $50. Wow, thank you. Okay, true story. Let's see what his true story is here. $50 gets you a definite true story. I got tired of tripping over bike parts and pitched several large boxes of parts and sets of suspension forks. Then the bike shortage thing hits, and I can't even buy. Yes, that is the way it goes, right? How many times I don't like to throw things out. I'm not a hoarder. I don't do piles. I'm a very neat freak. DIY Solar Energy can attest to that. It's to an annoying level that I'm a neat freak. Matter of fact, this is super piled up. It's driving me crazy. But every single time I go through and I think, I didn't even know I had this. I'm not going to need it. Throw it out. Then I need it. And I did that most recently talking bike stuff. I did that with some Allen wrenches. You know, every time you buy a bike, or not every bike, but many bikes come with little Allen wrench sets. I had a pile of them. I have, well, here, example. This is within 2 feet of me. Well, I don't know where the other one is, but I have two. This is the nice one from the Hemingway, the little wood one. But I have probably somewhere within reach of me at least three of these, and then all those loose little wrenches that you get. I had a pile of them, and I kept knocking them around, and they were in my way. And I'm trying to do sheetrock. I threw them out. The other day I was working on a bike in here, and I went to reach for where I knew I'd kicked them, and they weren't there. And then I realized I'd sent those. Somebody was scrapping, and I collected all that stuff and sent it. So throw it out, get rid of it. You scrap it. I don't have it anymore, and I needed it. So I sympathize or empathize with you there. But that is so funny that you had all those bike parts. So you probably crank arms. I throw out some crank arms. Now you mentioned even some suspension forks. Oh, that's tough to part with. You know, I actually hold on to a lot of suspension forks, even the cheap ones like this one on this Hyper here that might be going very soon. But thank you so much, Mr. Wasco. As a matter of fact, oh, it does. The trusty Hemingway. Thank you to everyone that has done a super chat. I have a bike bell sound. I recorded it myself, so I didn't have to worry about any copyright strikes from a bike bell sound. But I was going to do that so I could ring it here, and I put it on the drive, and I forgot to do it, and I tried to do it at the beginning of this stream, and I couldn't find the file. So I had to do a real one. But thank you so much, Mr. Wasco. I really appreciate you. I really do. Just everyone to give a knowledge here. Mr. Wasco and his wife, we even converse on Patreon. They're Patreons. They check on me. They knew when I had my COVID vaccine. They actually were checking on me the evening of my COVID vaccine. And the next day, then asking, were worried because I didn't do a live stream. So very nice. Nice people. I really appreciate excellent human beings. And I appreciate Super Chat. I really do. Thank you so much. You don't know how much that helps. So much. It helps. And he has bought, let's see, they bought a Bare Necessities shirt. They bought, I think, one of those, right? I think you got one of those, maybe. I know you got a hoodie. I know you got two hoodies. You got a zipper one and a full hoodie that for some reason disappeared off the. I did it private for you, but then I saw it on my store, and then when I looked yesterday, it wasn't on the store. So interesting, but good chance to point out. I have that new design. If anyone wants to take a look at it, all those shirts, I've marked them down, by the way, make it more cost effective to you guys. It slims down the profits that I don't make, but all that's just little bits getting towards an RV and also just helping the channel in general. But thank you so much to everyone that does everything, even just watching. You don't have to buy, you don't have to do anything. Just watching helps. And if you want to be nice and give thumbs ups, especially on these live streams, that helps bump me up in the algorithm. And making sure you spread the word to get more subscribers here at Kev Central, because the more clout we get, because I noticed when I crossed that 100,000 mark, I always get flooded. I always get flooded with requests to review this, review that, review certain bikes. If you knew how many bikes I passed up, because something they said, I've even gotten to the point of giving my shipping information and then telling certain companies, you know what, don't send me a bike because I didn't like the way they did something. So I'm very stringent and strict, and it is also kind of funny too, knowing the floods that I get, that I'm like, oh no, I definitely don't want to touch that. And then I'll see see it reviewed on a dozen other places all stretched out, and I'm like, aha, I know the secret behind that one. But anyway, thank you so much. Bare necessities, 2 pullovers, and 2 zippered. Wow. Thank you. So you've got one to use, one to lose, one to get dirty, one to one to wear clean, one to work on something in. Thank you so much. And Mr. Wall again for your super chat. And I had some super chatters earlier. Thanks to everyone. And of course the people that bought the shirt. Uh-oh, hold on. I see something here, bad news. Let's see what this is. Matrix Racing. Bad news, I found a hairline crack. Oh no! On your 2004 Cannondale lefty, full suspension around the bottom bracket. Eesh. That actually makes my heart hurt. Because you know I'm a Cannondale fan. I am a Cannondale fan, and I'm a lover of the Cannondale lefty. I have that, isn't it 2006? Is my Cannondale lefty, I think? So that hurts. And I'm assuming since it's that it is not, that it is aluminum, yeah, not carbon. So now it's popped up there. So yeah, a lot of people I see are interested in that. You should do sponsorships with the non-bike related companies like everyone does Squarespace. I have never been approached by Squarespace. I was approached by World of Tanks, and I shot them some crazy high price because I was mad. I used to be an avid player of World of Tanks. You have no idea how much money I spent on that game. I mean, I'm talking a lot of money on that game. I was addicted trying to do I was trying to do study abroads and looking forward to coming back so I could play World of Tanks. That's how addicted I was. I was like in luxury paradise places talking with people in a foreign language or trying to. And yeah. And Sonia, a super chat from you. Wow, thank you. Another awesome patron, longtime patron with Sonia. Can't see new design well on my phone screen, but I love the idea. I'll look at it later. Well, thank you. And I plan on, as Mr. Wesco knows, I try to release new designs regularly. Every few weeks, there will be a new t-shirt design. So this gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 designs. Of course, that green one that is right there, that's actually Kev Reviews, my sister channel, which you should also hop over to and subscribe. And I'm going to be doing a tease here in just a bit for Kev Central stuff. Let me get my list here. See, someone else said, but oh yeah, getting back to Sandriel. I have considered sponsorships. You know, I took a hard line of no sponsorships for the longest because I didn't want that appearance that I was selling out in any way, shape, or form. But I think it's pretty established by now that I'm very legit with the things that I do. As a matter of fact, there is one bike that I have in here that I won't go into it, but it's going to come out that I had a little problem with. And I got to give the company credit. I got so frustrated. I was like, I'm just going to send this bike back. You need to send me a label and I'll send this bike back. But they really are, no, we make a good product. We want you to review our product. So we want to, well, I'll cover it all in the video because I share everything that I encounter on a bike. The only thing I don't, there are certain things I'll overlook. Like if a wheel is just barely out of true, because realistically, I bought bikes from bike shops that the wheels were slightly out of true and I had to take them back and get them true. I mean, rolled out the door. So if it's a cheap bike and the wheel's just barely out of true, I'll give that a pass. Now, that's cheap bike. My review criteria, my metrics, you know, there's a scale. The more expensive a bike gets, the more I get critiqueful. So we'll see. But I try to be honest. And now I'm not opposed to sponsorships, but like you said, my ideal one would be a company that didn't do bikes, so it didn't look biased. But even if someone's willing to sponsor me, and if it were a bike company, it's on them. Because if you send me something I don't like, I'm gonna let it be known that if I do or don't like it. Aaron behind bars, another super chat. Wow, thank you. Nice little. Blood had shirts earlier, now super chats. Thank you guys so much. You scored a gently used 2020 Fuji Inavata. Well, I think I saw you comment on one of my videos. Matter of fact, it was this video for this little E-Ride Mountain. I saw you comment about this. I actually read that comment. First e-bike for me, and now I'm conflicted on keep/upgrade or spend big dollars on a. You're hooked. You're hooked. It happens. It happens. Welcome to the e-bike. e-bike world, right? That is a slippery slope. And once you get on it, it's right into the e-bike, full on. As a matter of fact, I was riding with Jose, and he was on the Carbon X, Project X. And he was talking, oh, it's so light. This is so nice. And I let him ride this one e-bike that I'm not even going to talk about because it's so awesome. But, well, it's awesome. But there are some things that are unique about it. But I let him ride it. I thought, yeah, I'll take it, down the trail and come back. I was going like 5 minutes. He came back and he said, oh, I mean, he pulled up and I just turned off my camera. So mad that I had my camera on and I just turned it off. I waited. He turned it off and he pulled right up in front of me. If it would have been on, it would have been perfect. He pulled right up in front of me, stopped. He had a Dunder Mifflin mask on because I asked him to wear a mask and he was nice and did. He pulled up, but I could see the squint in those eyes, ear to ear smile. He pulls up and, oh yeah, this is where it's at. Those are his exact words. Oh yeah, this is where it's at. So one ride, he's already. So yeah, thank you, Sonia, again. Thank you, Mr. Wasco. Thank you, Andrew behind bars. Let me just give you guys another little bike bell ring. For all three of you, thank you so much. It so helps the channel. You have no idea. You have no idea. I appreciate it. And then I see Captain's Cog. I'll sponsor you. You get all the BMX parts you need. So you are Mr. BMX guy. Oh, wait, no, he's talking about someone else. Okay, somebody else gets BMX parts. But hello to you, Captain's Cog. Matrix Racing. That's people talking amongst themselves. I'd like to see that. Hey, Shuby Bikes, what's up? Hello. I see you comment a lot. Thank you so much, especially even on regular videos. Bill Johnson, shifter brake combo on your Cannondale. Well, use $5. Talking to somebody there. But thank you so much to everyone. Congratulations, Aaron, on your bike. And again, to Mr. Wasco and Sonia. I'm so appreciative to all of you. And Sonia also, like Wasco's, the Wascos. Wasco like Wasco. I also talk to quite regularly on Patreon. And that's the unintended beauty of Kev Central. I had no idea that I would actually be making friends with all this. I feel genuinely like once I do get to travel, maybe meeting some of you people, saying hi, and hopefully at some point in the future giving handshakes, even though, as DIY Soul Energy can attest, I have been against handshakes for my entire life. Because whoever thought that up, yeah. But at any rate, we can get past all this COVID stuff. I think I'll be happy to give some people some handshakes. Don't be offended if I reach for hand sanitizer afterwards, though. And as I pointed out in the last live stream, I have this in here and I'm the only one in here. That tells you how big of a germaphobe I am. But thank you so much. Talking about bike inflations. Mountain bike mix. The joke is, I know you don't ride BMX. I kind of picked up on that. So you would sponsor me. I kind of picked up on that. And I may, don't count me out on that, because I may get a BMX bike soon to review. There's a little talk about that. So we'll see. But the shortages came in right around the time that was supposed to happen, so I don't know what's going on. Sonia, thank you. Handshakes are overrated and very awkward. I do agree. Okay, I'm going to do a Take 10 Q&A where we'll get 10 minutes. You guys ask whatever you want. And while maybe someone's commenting with that, I'm going to move this chair and I'm going to move this bike a little forward. By the way, I have a pump roundup coming. And I've been so critical of this super expensive Bontrager pump. What did I pay for this? $129.99 I paid for this pump. I love the display, except that it's upside down. I don't know what they were thinking with this, the way the foot pegs are with how you pump on it, it's upside down. And the way this hose wraps around it, it goes down on the bottom and then over and then loops through this thing, but that created tension and cracked the hose. But the beauty of Bontrager, Trek, I told the bike shop to order me a replacement hose because this one had started splitting, and I had them truing a wheel for me today. I went to pick that up, and the hose was wrapped around the wheel, and I was like, oh wait, I need to pay for this. But that's, oh no, you got the Bontrager pump's a warranty part. So how nice is that? One benefit. So maybe I'm not as critical as well, because it's still a nice pump. I just, as you'll see in my pump roundup, I think there's a point where dollar value can be very budget and get a good pump. But we'll see in the pump roundup. Just remember, what, 10 minutes of Q&A, so post your questions there. And Shane Maloney, how do you feel about fist bumps? You know, Howie Mandel does that. He's a germaphobe, but he does the fist bumps. And I've always watched America's Got Talent because my dad watches it, so I'll go over there to eat a lot. And I see doing fist bumps, and I always tell people, you know, that's really not that much better, because if you wipe your nose, you do this. Everyone does that, and then you're fist bumping. I mean, it's almost, yeah. So there's that. I'm not a fan of either, but I don't want to mess up my new host. I want to move this over. I hope the audio is okay here, because while anyone is posting questions there, I want to get this ready, because I'm going to be talking about this. Let's see where I've got this. Yeah, this is right after that. So I'm just going to stand up right here. I'm assuming the audio is still pretty good. And I'm going to scan through and answer a couple of these questions. And what do we got? 20, so we'll go for 10 minutes. So, but thank you again, Shane Maloney, for, don't have a bell on this one. Thank you for the super chat. Again, Mr. Wasco, still up there with his 50. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Oh, here you go. Fist bump. I feel good about that one. I'll do that. Feel good about that one. So, here we go. So we've got question-wise here. James Wasco, I'll be a first in line for that BMX deal. He's wanting in on it too. He's wanting, you know, so Captain's Cog, if you ever started a BMX company, you know, where you could get a list of people to sponsor with your fictitious BMX company. So that's pretty funny. Been rocking a Bontrager Charger for the last, I think, 4 years. Yeah, that's this. This used to be my favorite pump. I thought this was the bee's knees. And if there is one pump that over time I have both used diligently, I mean, this says, I can't tell you how many tires this is inflated, but Trek or Bontrager, I don't like their pump heads. So you've used it for 4 years, Gaz 757. Do you also have a problem with this? And I'm going to cover it in my video, but I have a problem with how long that is. It's always smacking my knuckles. And how hard it is to get this seated on a Schrader valve on a tire that has no air in it. So hard compared to every other pump that I have. So I've grown to, I have a love-hate relationship, I'll say that with this, but it's a pretty tough little pumps. I mean, I've left this thing outside. I've knocked it over 1,000,000 times. It's accurate. So yeah, but the little Chargers, they're tough. They're tough little pumps. So good to see that. Last live chat, I was telling about putting new tires on my Dual Sport 3. It ended up being a Ceraville Washburn with tan sidewalls. Love them. Not familiar with that brand name. Should I be familiar with that? But I'm glad you like them. Seagrave 73, so that's awesome. Sonia, I love them talking to someone else there. TC, your name on my favorite 3. If you had to name your favorite 3 under 300 replacement forks, what would you choose? Well, if you can find them, I would choose the Suntour Epixon. I would choose the Suntour Epixon. Now, let's choose Suntour Epixon. I'd choose the RockShox Solo. And what is another one? That RST. Yes. That RST fork. I can't remember the name of that fork, or the model. But the RXT that I used on the Aluminum Comp V2.2, that was $199 at the point I purchased it, which, you know, inflation right now we've got going on with bike parts, and not only availability, I haven't seen it again, but even with inflation, it should still be under 300. So all of those forks will be under 300. There's your good list. So there's that. Inflation will hit even Walmart bikes. I asked about that and got a kind of a vague response. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Well, actually, let me say, I'm surprised that I'm still seeing aluminum comps at $224. That I'm still seeing Axoms at the 398 to 498. So far we're doing good. So you got to give Walmart credit. I know they get a lot of flack for some things, but they also do a lot of good things. And whether you like them or not, they're a big part of my life. I shop a lot of Walmart stuff. I ride in Walmart shoes that work as good as mountain bike shoes. I ride Walmart bikes. I eat Walmart food. Except my bananas. My bananas come from Miami Fruit in Florida. I eat Gros Michel bananas, a specific banana, but yeah, they're a big part of my life. So, and I will give them credit for sticking it out at least so far, and not raising bike prices. Better rider. Let's see. So found the crack. Okay, wait. Here we've got some more updates on not a question, but updates on our buddy with his cracked Canada lefty. Found the crack a week ago and have 1,000 coming back. Atros near me for $800. Should I snatch it? Aren't those? Well, the Atros 3 is not going to be that heavy. I know, isn't it the one? Like the one is kind of heavy for what it is. So I can't tell you what you would buy. All I can say is any bike right now that's not overpriced is probably a good deal because everything's overpriced, even on the used market. We have Mr. Wasco. Any thoughts on another virtual bike show? Lots of work, but it was awesome. Yes, I plan on doing that probably quarterly or maybe twice a year. I'm going back and forth on that. The only worry that I have is I don't want it to become people posting the same bikes and it's the same bikes over and over every time. I've been lucky with the two that I've done so far that wasn't the case. But I did start a while back. I put videos like viewers' bikes in my videos, and then I started noticing it was just a repetition of people. There would be some new ones, but there were a lot that it was repetition, and I didn't want it to become just the same thing. So hard to work, but as long as I could get it to where it was new bikes, then yes, it's something I'm going to think about. You only have the charger pump now and have been meaning to grab me a good mountain bike pump, but I always have the charger in my back. Okay. Well, let me give you a tease. Not that one, it's this one. This, I got this Blackburn stuff. This Blackburn brand, we talked about Walmart. Blackburn is now in Walmart. And this is a 70s brand, I believe, that's now at Walmart, and they have bike shops. This is a bike shop level stuff you would see in a bike shop. This is a Blackburn pump that would be in a bike shop. You look at that gauge there, and then look at the one Walmart, and I can feel a little difference here, but full disclosure, I haven't used this yet. So I'm saving it for the bike roundup, but I have heard from someone that has used one of these Blackburn pumps, and they are very thrilled. So you may want to sneak into your Walmart and see if they have one of these laying around. And if it's in Walmart, odds are somebody's going to rip the card off of it or something, so you can maybe play around with it. You can find one of the few kids' bikes that are going to be at Walmart. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, do I have a lot of super chats that I have missed? Ew, I don't want to miss anybody. So let me go through these super chats. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see, there's Mr. Wasco. So got Mr. Wasco. There's our buddy Shane Maloney. So there we go. Fist bump for Shane Maloney. Trail Features. Well, hello to you. Trail Features. A wild YouTuber appears. Thank you, Trail Features. I appreciate you. Very regular on our channel. Very good commenter. I really appreciate. And also Uncle Bobby. Uncle Bobby, nice decor. You like my new wall finishings? New wall finishings. This is a shameless plug here. I've even got another shirt design that's so new it's not even on my wall here. This is my rotor design, brake rotor design. But yeah, got all these. This is shirt designs. Even a Kev. What is it? It's this side. Even a Kev Central. Wow, why is that so hard? Even a Kev reviews. Even Kev reviews. But thank you guys so much for the super chats. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel greater than you can know. And I've got 2 minutes. I was on my Take 10 Q&A. So let's see if I've got anybody else. Trail Features, love your videos. Yeah, it's another Trail Features has a channel as well. So everybody give them a check out. Very nice, active commenter on Kev Central too. I mean, I love having great people that also enjoy bikes and do good things with bikes. So awesome. So awesome. And I give super chats. I mean, I appreciate that. I really do. You guys don't know how much. Matter of fact, here you go. 3 little bike bell rings. And as I mentioned earlier, I got the audio file. There was a mix-up today, but I was going to have it to do it on the screen. I'm even working on an animation that'll work with that. But yeah, there's the super chats, and Uncle Bobby really likes that decor. I appreciate that, Uncle Bobby. And you can have some of this decor in your very own home or on your very own body. But check it out. But go to my merch store. You're picking up a shirt. I marked the price down. I marked the price down. So I had one order, but FedEx back ordered. Okay. Loving my Schwinn aluminum comp. This is Loyal 692K7. Loving my Schwinn aluminum comp. Had it for a week. Upgraded the bars, stems, pedals. Air shock is next. We'll look out for it. But yeah, that's the hard part. That's the hard part right now, that air shock. So congratulations on aluminum comp. And by the way, this is a good point to mention. Don't forget, everyone, to head over to my Instagram page, Kev Central Official, or Instagram account. What do you call that now? And there's that bike giveaway. You could win your very own aluminum comp. Have a chance at winning it. One random person. That's, I think, the 20-something of this month. I'll have to look at the date. But that's my first of 3 bikes in 3 months. So don't forget to go over and make sure you get entered, because there were 800 and something people that had entered so far. Are Fuji's as good as Trek? You know, I like Fuji. Oh, what's up, DIY Solar Energy? That was probably a mistake. A lot of knock him out for spinning. No, I'm just kidding. Love him.
Yeah, what was going on was I'm watching your video. So as you said, Instagram, I put the links up for Instagram in there. So.
Oh well, it came up like 6 times. Yeah. Oh, lag or something. Okay. Well, it came up like 6 times. So yeah. Okay, so anyway, that's what was you were asking about Fuji versus Trek. That depends on where you get your Fuji, because there are dealership level ones, and then there are, what is it? Was it Gander Outdoor or something that had the brand? I don't know how they service, but if you get it from a dealer, then it's going to have the same level of support as a Trek. I have a weakness for Trek. My first true mountain bike was a Trek, so I've got a little bit of a weakness there. But I'll ride anything and enjoy anything if it's a good value for what you're getting. You get good components for what you're getting on a good bike that's dealership support. That's great. But of course, I also like bikes that are affordable. Huh, I'm getting stronger. Yeah, my COVID vaccine really kicking up the power there. Pumping my e-bikes. So I'm going to end the Q&A right here. And thank you again, everyone, for the super chats and all that. And I've got, I don't know, this might string on for maybe another 30 minutes, maybe. I doubt it. But I want to talk about some options here with this thing. And oh, yeah. Yeah. I can do this way. Let me go to the bench cam. Boom. There we go. Do I still have my audio? Make sure I still have audio. Yes, I do. Okay, so this is going to be a little awkward because I have stuff stacked in the way. But I have this Hyper E-Ride that I just reviewed, and if you haven't watched this video, go check it out, because it's amazing what they are doing with $578, I think this is. That I had fun with this. I mean, probably the most fun I've ever had mindlessly riding on a mountain bike trail that was a smooth pack trail. Just crazy fun. And I mean, this finish, you have to see this. This is bike shop looking finish on this bike. I mean, it is nice. And that is a fake taper, by the way. That tapers down to this side. So it's not like the Schwinn taper. So just note that. But this fork, it's kind of the little gamey little fork there. Not all that good. And of course, these rim brakes. But I started thinking I was gonna buy a RockShox fork that had rim brake mounts because I want to keep these I want to keep the brake cutoff switch, because that is super important on a mountain bike, or not on a mountain bike, on an e-bike. And yeah, bench cam, matrix racing there. So that is super important to me, and especially on the trail, because if you have a cadence sensor equipped bike, which this is, there's a cadence sensor down there. If you have a cadence sensor equipped bike, there's that lag. You're pedaling and you quit pedaling, and there's like a half a second that it's still giving a boost. Let me just move this right there. That it's still giving a boost. Hey, you can see my loft up in there. So you're pedaling and it still gives it a little boost. Well, that can be problematic if you don't have that brake cutoff switch, because I can just lightly tap and cut the motor off at any second that I want to. They'll tap and the motor stops. That's super important, because even with this, there are a couple of times, it's not in the footage, but I think I'm going to ride this from beginning to end on that trail with this bike again, just to show that trail, or maybe even another bike. But on this, and I had another bike out there as well that was an e-bike, and there were a couple of times where I would come to a turn, and that little extra half a second, I didn't think to hit the brake or whatever, had that extra little half a second, and there was one time I literally drove off the trail kind of down a bit just from that extra boost. So brake shutoff's very important, especially on a trail or a path or anything like that with the bike. But I started thinking, or replace the fork. Should I go with a fork that has rim brake mounts and use these rim brakes, or I could take a new fork, put a disc brake on it, and because this mounts, I mean, this is a cable, it's a standard cable, so I should be able to use a barrel. I mean, I've got to take this apart just to make sure, but this should be a standard barrel mount. Can't find that groove where it goes in, but I should be able to put the cable in this and just run it down to a disc brake cable for the front. And because this bike, if you watch the video review, you know, this bike had that caliper mount on the back. Back to my regular cam here. Had the caliper mount on the back, or has, not had. It has this caliper mount on the back. I could technically, maybe, if I can get the cables routed and working with these brake levers, and there's brake lever pulls, there's a lot that goes into this. But if this works out, I could have disc brakes on this bike. Something to think about. Because I could have I think just forks and a disc brake and new pedals would do this decent enough that I could have a lot of fun with this on the mountain bike trail. Because I don't know if you could tell in that video, I caught a little bit of air a couple of times on this bike on the trail. Shouldn't have, but it was there. So there's that. So that's something I'm thinking about. It's a comment if you think I should do that. And also, while I'm doing this, I could get rid of this twist shifter and go with the trigger shifter. And because this is, I'm assuming, 135 spacing back here, I don't know about this. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have room for a 7-speed back here. But there's really not a need. And I've seen it in the comments a lot. People talking about wanting a 10-speed or 11 or 12-speed on an e-bike. It's an e-bike. Let the bike do the work. The gears are just kind of to help it on hills and things and to start off. Let the bike do the work. And if you want, you can go into a lower gear. So I don't really need more gears, but I could take this twist shifter off. But surprisingly, as much as I complain about twist shifter, I didn't have any missed shifts with this. Of course, I'm on a smooth, flowy trail. Now, if I were at Wildwood with this and it's rattling all over the place, you know, that you start shifting by accident. So there's that. But I also want to ask a question, or actually, I want to show you something. Let me move this over to here, get my chair back. I didn't miss a super chat, did I, DIY? I don't think I did. Okay, is the rear hub disc ready? Yes, that Oscar Flores, that hub motor actually has disc brake. The little whatever you call it, the pattern for it, and the bolts are already there. So yeah, that was a surprise to me. Even on the looked right into a light. Second live stream in a row, I looked right into a light. There, my basement is that way. There is on that E-Ride City that is in my basement. That I got all kinds of things popping up here. There is the same hub motor. So yeah, pretty good. Well, not the same hub motor because it's 26-inch on this, and it's 700C on that. So not the exact same, but same company. Let's see what we got. I think the more likely it was okay. Somebody talking about something. Just want to make sure. Use the stock brake levers on my e-bike because I went with Zoom Hydros and they don't have a provision for the motor cutoff. Yes, see, Saddle Tramp, I'm a little. I reviewed that Uniro. Remember that first Uniro? It was a fat tire bike that was a little mountain bike that I thought this has some potential. I didn't want to send that back. I had to send it back as a review bike. So I had to send that back. That was one I really wanted to do some tweaking on. But my one complaint with that was it didn't have the motor shutoffs. And there, you ride long enough with motor shutoffs. There's going to be a point where you go around a turn or you do something. God, I can't tell you how many times. I've even seen DIY Solar do it with he did it with Electric XP. You just don't notice and you bump the pedals. And because an e-bike with a cadence sensor, if it moves enough to go past a few magnets, it's going to tell the motor, oh, okay, let's go. Let's go. And if you're not expecting it, that can lead to bad things. I can't believe I haven't had that electric go over because there's so many times I've been moving it and hit the twist throttle or hit the pedals and it popped up and it pops up and you're holding on to the grip and that causes it to twist. And yeah, that's where brake levers, the shutoff comes in so handy because instantly, engine off, or motor off. So anyway, let me talk about this Hemiway for just a second because I want to show you something about that Hemiway that I briefly mentioned in the video, and I wanted to bring the picture in and show it. And I had that part somewhere, but gosh knows where that is. Actually, I'm going to do my be right back screen, and I'm going to leave the audio going. I'll keep talking, but I want to look for something really quick here. See if I can find it. I thought it was close. Yeah. I'll go back to live. It's not where it's gonna be accessible, but I had, on these forks, I complained on that fork, this piece. If you watch that review video, you will remember that I complained because this was crimpled. This was crunkled, whatever word you want to use. Now I'm trying to balance this fork. That's not going to work. And it was shorter. It was bent up here, and this was shorter by about this much. And what had happened, this is the actual original fork. What had happened was, I don't think this happened during shipping because that bike was well packaged and there was not damage that equated on the box that it would have equated with anything here. But what had happened was it bent at some point, probably before it went into the box, but I'll give the benefit of the doubt that it was shipping that bent this fork inward. So this piece was like crumpled, and you can see, let me just stick this in here and you'll be able to see the difference. Do you see how much difference there is? That gap is not supposed to be there. This dropout should be right there. So that's how much this has been in. It has been in, I don't know, what's that? I'm going to tape measure here. See my metric one, so I can do inches, and that's 3/4 of an inch. This thing is what? Well, so I said I can do inches in. So how many? Okay, I lied. That's 1/2 an inch, and that is what, about 80 millimeters. So is that right? Yeah. So that's how far, about 1/2 an inch, that this is bent inwards. So these bottom is pressed in. And I was able to bend it out to get, and DIY Solar Energy helped me out. I was on the phone with him just complaining. Oh, I was so mad because I was so looking forward to this bike. And it was so awesome when I unboxed it and I couldn't get the front wheel on. And I was in, you get in that mood. And I was just going crazy. He looked up and found a video. They had an installation video. It's like, man, the wheel just drops in. I'm telling you, this didn't drop in. So I had to use all thread to spread this apart. Thank you again, DIY Solar Energy. He was the one that suggested that. To spread this apart enough to get the wheel, spread it apart, let it stay spread apart, way apart, and enough that I could pull on it a bend to pry and get that wheel in there. And then I was able to ride it for the review, and everything was fine. Until I let this sit. And over the course of about 3 days, this fork arm, or fork tube, can you tell how this is, wait, it's this one, how this is twisted in relation to the other? Can you see that? It's actually twisted. And what happened was, while it sat, even with the wheel wedged in there, because I had to do a lot of prying, it took me and my father prying even after I spread this apart to get the wheel in. It worked fine for the day that I rode for the review and like a little bit after that, but then I let it sit for a few days, and when I got it back out, I noticed it was still riding, but I noticed it was wanting to pull to the left. And this, I didn't have this when I rode it, and I finally figured out what had happened. The metal, you bend metal enough and it kind of develops a little bit of memory. It was bending back, and what it was doing, you can almost see it on this. There's just a twist, and it was retwisting itself, and that was sending my bike that way. And this, I let it sit for a week, and you can actually see here. Look at this. Can you see? That's where the rotor was rubbing on the caliper mount. That's how bad this was warped. So I had to contact Hemiway, and to Hemiway's massive credit, they said, well, what's wrong with it? And I told them, I said, well, you remember that fork that was bent? And I said, oh, I got that worked out, but now I'm like, now the fork's messed up again. Favorite topic, bent tubes, Ed Casada. Thank you. Thank you, Ed. Well, there's a lot of it here, so there you go. A little bent tube flash. There you go. And oh, there's a good shot of just that gap, just how much that is. Oh, why is that so hard to do backwards on camera? There we go, that gap. Look at that. That's how far off that is. But they sent a brand new fork, and I got to the point I was going to buy a fork and just put on there. But this is a freakishly long tube, a steerer tube. This is, I think, 10.5 inches. And if you're shopping for a 20x4 suspension fork, there are a bunch of them out there, but they're all like 6 to 8 inches for the steerer tube, because most of them are for folding e-bikes. So they didn't have, and that bike, you can look at it, it's got, see that head tube, like the handlebar, and then there's like a stack of spacers, and then a long head tube. So it needs this 10.5 inch steerer, which is an oddball. Could not find one, but they sent one. They airmailed this from overseas. I received it in, what was it, 3 or 4 days DIY. We were both amazed how quick I got
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you sent the email. I was like, well, what about the fork? You said, what, the mat? There was something else you said besides the fork that was included. I just can't remember.
Nope, it was just a fork.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it was so warped, I couldn't even get the wheel out of it. It had recompressed and twisted. It was a struggle to get the wheel out of it. So there's that. And that means I got a new fork on this finally, so I can start riding it again. Because I've got to do a follow up video on this. I really like this bike a lot. I mean, it's right up my alley. I'm a Vespa guy. I used to own Vespas. I quit riding them because people with cell phones now, it's very dangerous. But this is right up my alley. I like classic mopeds. This is a thing for me. But I've started thinking this bike will do 31 miles per hour as it is, and that motor, it wants to do more. So I run out of pedal. I didn't bring it down here, but I have an 11 to 34 tooth or 11 to 28, an 11 to 28 tooth freewheel that I'm going to put on this bike so I can actually upgrade this. And in theory, maybe add on a few miles an hour. So we'll see how that goes. So hang in for the Hemiway follow-up video because that should be pretty impressive if you're like me, but I admit kind of a small niche, actually better than I thought it was going to be, because e-bike videos typically aren't as big of a draw as like mountain bike or something like that, because a lot of people still have that e-bike animosity. But that's so awesome that the views have actually been pretty good on that video, so it's generating some interest. And its competitor is the Scorpion, the Juiced Scorpion, whom, by the way, contacted me, and then unfortunately the pandemic hit and I never heard back from him. But I was really looking forward to getting one of those. But I got this, and I think this looks a little. I mean, it's cleaner with that battery inside the down tube. So I'm pretty happy with the look of the Hemiway and the ride of the Hemiway, everything about that bike. But I will admit, being the 80 something pounds, whatever it is heavy to move around if you're not riding it. It feels like a motorcycle. So there's that. Let me take a quick look here and make sure that I haven't missed anything. So I got our buddy Ed Quesada. We talked about the bent tubes for him. Hot metal, Stephen Smith. I don't know what. I mean, obviously it's not going to be aluminum, so the magnet will the stanchions for the tubes, the magnet didn't stick to it. But anyway, I don't think this is that cheap of a fork. It looks like there's maybe about one or two manufacturers for those 20 by 4.0 forks. So they all kind of look roughly the same, but this one is a freak because it has that, or an oddball, because it has that long steer tube. So who knows? What's the best mountain bike for under $200? Kokoyami? That's tough because right now, good luck finding anything under $200. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. And when you say mountain bike, that is a loaded phrase. Talked about that many times here on Kiv Central. There are bikes like this one, not this one, this E-Ride Mountain. They're mountain style bikes. They're not really mountain bikes. Because if I took this bike to Wildwood, where I normally ride, where I rode my Project Comp V2 today, this would last one ride. I think this would destroy itself. It's just not designed for that. I mean, those are rough trails. But if I take this somewhere that's smooth packed, it's pretty fun. But this is not within your price range. And that's what you're going to run into. We don't have the Hyper Hydroforms anymore, although I did lobby heavily when I was talking to Hyper. I lobbied heavily for the Hyper Hydroform. It's still on their site, so it's just not available anywhere. But right now, that's tough, and bike prices are going up. The closest I could tell you is try to scrape together another $25 and hope you could score an aluminum comp for $224. Current pricing, who knows how long that hangs. Let's say that on YouTube. Pot metal. That's pretty funny, Harry Grimley. I see that, and yeah, someone else there letting us know 200 under doesn't exist right now. And I think that your best bet, try to get $24, $25 more. Actually, probably be what, $38 or so taxes, depending upon your area. Yeah, they all there giving the best advice. Depending on upon the local market, you might be able to find one used. Be careful. Yes, definitely, Sonia. I shared an experience at the local bike shop where a guy had bought a carbon fiber full suspension bike that was looked like an amazing deal. I can't remember what he paid for it, but it was trash. The bike mechanic at that time said, "Man, I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to say. This is not a usable bike. It's dangerous." And the guy had paid, I think, over $1,000 or something, and it was some high-end bike. It messed up, so you got to be careful. And as I've talked about before, I've seen cheap bikes along the lines of a hyper shocker that people have put Trek stickers on, painted it with white spray paint, and put Trek stickers on it and listed it. There was one in Nashville about a year or two ago. I think I shared it in a video, and I actually sent them some flamer comments that I'm sure they could have cared less about, but they did eventually take that down or sold it, one of the two. So yeah, the bunch of people saying the aluminum comp. Hey, because I bought a Walmart mountain bike 26-inch about a year ago. A month later, the whole thing fell apart. It depends upon what bike you get. Coco Yummy at Walmart. Right now, the Schwinn aluminum comp, the Schwinn Boundary, the Schwinn Taft, those are a whole different level of bike from a Walmart bike as we've ever known it. And not only that, they're kind of upgradable, or very upgradable, because I've made project bikes out of them. But that's why people are steering you, and I'm steering to look. We're not telling you what to buy, but to look at the aluminum comp, because that is a different level. Because there's some cheap bikes that have very cheap parts. Even out of the box, the aluminum comp is acceptable, but I wouldn't beat it around on Wildwood on a regular basis as it is out of the box, but it's something to start with. And yeah, Shane Maloney there, yeah, mentioned that that came out really southern. Mentioned that they need maintenance. Single speed, no thanks. I don't know who said something about single speed, but Vince White, City in the City 1.5 at a 459% increase in cycling on pathways alone. Wow. What city are you in, Vince White? I'd be curious. That's an amazing city of 1.5 million. Is that Memphis? Yeah, Memphis numbers, isn't it? 1.5. When Hyper needs to bring back the hydroform with the tapered head tube. I said, that is words right out of my mouth. Right out of my mouth. So maybe they'll get some wisdom there. But man, what a good little bike, right? Now, even if it doesn't have it, it's still, if they could do it for that price again, man, what a good little bike. Not a nice hybrid 29er Trek with upgrades. Perfect condition at the pandemic for $300. Wow. Buff Barnaby, that's a deal. Yeah. Of course, we wouldn't be able to recreate that again, right? What we got? Stephen Smith again, talking about Event and Pace for $825. Very good. And I have the brand new Event sitting in the living room of my house that I've got to get some more footage on, or well, some footage. I haven't even ridden it yet, other than just around the neighborhood, a little quick, just down the road actually. But I've got to get my filming and some base experience on that and upload that. So really good bike. I was gonna try to do it on the first, but as I mentioned at the beginning, I had the COVID downs from the COVID vaccine. Took me a while to bounce back. I mean, I literally just got all my energy back. So Sport Near Fluid Trainer works best. So okay, I know what you're talking. I don't know who you're talking to, but I know about that trainer. Bought a Boundary and ended up taking it back. It didn't fit me well. Aaron Cook. Is that because it was too tall? Is that 19-inch frame? That's why I felt the same way. But it's right at my peak comfort. But I like just a little bit smaller. So that's one of the new Axum with the size frames made that even better. Okay, let me do one last thing here so we can get wrapped up. I don't want this to stretch on forever, but I'm going to pick up my magnet. I'm going to do a Kev's Reviews preview. I think I have a knife here. Because I have another channel. I have Kev Reviews. That is the logo. That green right there is the logo. Wow. I just now realized how far off the camera warps things with its wide angle view. You have no idea. Okay, it looks like I'm pointing right in the middle of that logo right there. But to me, that is the middle of that logo. And this is pointing, I mean, it's like way away, way away from that. That's amazing. Very weird. Very weird. So, what I want to do, move this camera. I have my Kev Reviews channel. And I have a box from Shop HQ that I purchased. I'm going to do kind of a semi-Kev Reviews thing because you guys know that I collect also. I don't have one on right now. I've just got so I was out riding today. I don't have on a watch, but I wear Invicta watches. Don't know how I got, I know how I got suckered in. I started going to sleep watching Shop HQ, kind of lulled me to sleep. And they also have that sister network, the Bulldog Network. But I was on the other day, again, lulling myself to sleep, and I hadn't bought one in a while, but they had another Invicta watch, and it came in this dive case. So I purchased, I don't even know how to get this dive case open. Here it is. I purchased this, get this silica gel packs out. I think it was 88 bucks or whatever. So I'm going to be reviewing this on my Kev Reviews channel. And here's a little sneak peek at the Grand Diver. It's a 44 millimeter watch. You know, Invicta's kind of known for their big watches, and I don't do the super big. It's not really my style. I think I bought a couple of them just because I talked myself into it. But that will be Kev Reviews. Also, I have the most popular video on my Kev Reviews channel is my Craftsman T210 riding mower. I have my 1-year follow-up on that. I've got all the footage. I've just got to do the voiceover for it. Again, that got put off because of my vaccine fatigue after getting my vaccine. But I also have brand new blades for my Craftsman. I'll be, after the 1-year review, I'll be putting on the blades and showing my 10-hour service. I'm actually at 30 hours. It'll be my third 10-hour service, so I'll show what a 10-hour service is like. I'm also going to be reviewing this, which will go in my shed where my Craftsman T210 is. And this is a Craftsman V20 powered fan. That is, make sure to have my name on there. I'm going to be doing that. And out here in my bike barn, I'll make a review on this. I have kind of about 15 feet that way. I have a rigid shop vac, but it's this huge 16-gallon vac, and it's always in my way. It does a great job, but it's always in my way. Craftsman, you know, I like that V20 stuff. I have V20 batteries somewhere here. Within reach of me always out here. I have V20 batteries, but I'm trying to get all V20 with my cordless stuff. And they make now a Craftsman vac. So I bought a stick vac for out here in the bike barn that's Craftsman, and this stands up on its own. So I'll be able to stick it in a corner and I can free up room for another bike out here in the bike barn. So just wanted to tease all of that. That'll be coming on my Kev Reviews channel. So make sure you head over there and get subscribed to Kev Reviews as well. Silica gel packs. Always use those. Of course, having them out kind of negates the benefits. But I want to wrap up and thank everyone for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be back at the live streams and live chats. I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget, head over to Instagram. Get in on that giveaway. You may win a bike. And if you like the shirts, you want to get a shirt, it's kevcentral.store. And I have the brand new design that I just put up. I think it was yesterday that I got this finally up. The new disc brake rotor design. Kev Central logo in the middle. And that right there is on the back. It's 2.5 inches on the upper back. So there's that. thank you to everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. And if I didn't mention you in chat, I apologize. I try to look over, mention everyone, give them a shout out. But I do read each and every one of these messages. Like Tom Heron, so appreciate your content. Thank you so much. I read each and every one of your comments and messages, and I will do so after this. I'll go over all that. Thanks to everyone. Give everyone give DIY Solar Energy a thumbs up or a clap, applause, something. He does such a great job with his moderation, and he has his own channel. You can go check that out. He does batteries. He's going to be rebuilding a bike battery, hopefully for me as well. I'm thinking about sending this battery. Oh, there it is. Sending this battery down to him and seeing if he can increase the capacity on it. Maybe get some more range on this bike, even though I'm fine with what it does right now. But that's tonight's stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate the talk and that everyone got in on the conversation about Bike Bubble. Seems like we all agree we're in a bubble right now, so we're going to live it out. But of course, we are all going to be with this even after the bubble because we love biking, we love cycling, we love affordable cycling. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a nice evening, and I'll see you in the next video. And now I'm going to log us off. Where is my, there it is, my offline. Have a good evening.